Pump it up, pump it up.
Trae.
Come on, come on.
With Trae.
Pump it up, pump it up.
It's the day with
This is the day to gain inspiration, to make a positive change in the nation. We're inviting you to partake in conversation, to raise your vibration. It's the day that we will all celebrate all of our peeps that make this thing elevate. Watch the negative fade away, cause it's the day with Trae.
Grand Rising, everyone. Welcome to the Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. I want to welcome you to another terrific Tuesday here on the Day with Trae. I'm so excited. I get to spend this day with some folks from Solid Ground. First, I get to talk to Shalimar Gonzales, the CEO, the one who's doing big things there, leading the crew. We're going to be talking a bit about what Solid Ground is. So for those of you who may have missed my other interview with her, you'll get a good glimpse of what they are doing over there, and also their 50th anniversary gala that's coming up. So I'm so excited to hear from her. And then later on in the show, we got Mary Ruffin in the building, the board chair of Solid Ground, who will also be sharing what the board is all about, why she's excited for this event, and what folks can expect. So I'm excited to have them both on the show today. But of course, as you know, y'all, it's the top of the show. It's the perfect time for you to participate with us. And let me tell you something. Your participation is helping us grow. We are reaching new accounts and new people who didn't know anything about the Day with Trae. So thank you for tagging and sharing the stream with folks who you feel could benefit from this daily dose of dopeness we keep bringing you here on the Day with Trae. If you can't watch our TV show, we still have you covered because our crew is amazing. So you can listen to us anywhere you find your favorite podcast. Just search Converge Media Network and the Day with Trae. You'll find me on whichever platform is your favorite, okay? So go ahead and share that too. If you are one of our podcast listeners out there, we appreciate you listening as well. Well, up next, Shalimar Gonzales is back in the building. We're going to be talking all things Solid Ground and this amazing 50th anniversary. This is huge. Hi, Shalimar.
Hey, Trae, how are you?
Good, how you doing?
I'm doing well. It's doing well. It's always fun to be here with you. So,
you know, I get excited because, to be honest, Solid Ground is doing some phenomenal work. Remind folks who maybe heard it before or maybe those who didn't. I mean, what is Solid Ground all about?
Yeah. Solid Ground's an anti-poverty organization, like full stop. And so I like to say that when we're talking about doing anti-poverty work and serving community, we're really talking about holistic services. So anything from cutting checks for folks who need some rental supports, to getting food to people who need it, to, if somebody needs help getting like a tire changed on their car, we do that. We transport people, like anything that folks need that is really rooted in their inability to have the right resources right now, like that's who we're helping.
You know what? This is really phenomenal because, to be honest, there's not enough of a firm understanding of the needs. And so in order for y'all to be able to assist folks like this, you first have to be able to ascertain what the needs are. How do y'all get out there and know that, like, hey, y'all, if you need all of these variety of things, we're here to help you. How do y'all do that kind of outreach?
Yeah, I think the first thing we do is we just talk to people. Like that's number one, is like for us to be able to serve people the way that they need to be served, the way they deserve to be served, with the dignity and the humanity that they deserve to be served with. It's all about talking to them and reaching out to them and saying, what do you need right now? What do your neighbors need? What does your community need? Mm-hmm. And then we try to get after it. And then after that, we say, what would you think you need in like a year or 2 years from now? And then we try to start to develop what those services may be. And maybe it's not us doing it. And, there's plenty of amazing nonprofits in the area, so we don't have to do everything. So we're always trying to connect people to other resources that they may need, like in their journey, but also staying connected with them to say, you can always come back to Solid Ground. Like, we're kind of your family. And so don't hesitate. Like, all of us have good days and sometimes we have bad days, right? And so sometimes we just need a little support. So that's really how we start to kind of do our work. And then the outreach is really just we really try to utilize our folks that are using our services as really kind of the stewards and the ambassadors of our work. I mean, we can put up flyers, we can put stuff on our website. We've got a great communications team, but it's really the folks that are utilizing our services, folks that are calling 211. Those are the folks that then, they got a friend who also needs a little support. They're like, hey, have you tried Solid Ground? They were able to help me with like my tenant services. I was fighting with my landlord, all the things that comes up, and they were able to help me. And so that's how we're able to, serve community.
It's just something that I'm in awe of, honestly. I mean, public facing work and service, being of service to folks is so needed in this world. And, you have to have a level of passion. I want to talk a bit about your team's passion, your staff. Like, there's something internal to bring you to this kind of work, right? This is not a notch on my belt type of, career move. I'm just going to take this next gig because it's doing this for my career. I mean, you got to care about the people you're serving. How do y'all, make sure you're bringing the right folks in with that level of service, that service spirit?
Yeah, it's, I always say, like, people are like, maybe it's like another career move. I'm like, no, it's like every single person that's working in human services, in client services, it's because it's like rooted in their soul of who they are. It's how they want to be in the world, and they want to contribute in that way professionally. And, I think for us, we really actively seek out those individuals. So even through our interview process, even through like how we post our jobs online, we really look at, we want folks that want to be in service. Like, that is full stop. It doesn't matter if you have like the full resume skill sets, like we can train all that. You can learn that. But if you want to serve community, then, come work with us, because you'll be able to do that. Like, someone can be able to realize like their truth and how they want to show up every single day. So, I think, like I said, it's really about finding the right people. And then very similar to our clients, like, they start to bring their networks in. So oftentimes, I would say like 50% of our hires are actually referrals from current employees or clients that are referring their friends to come work at our organization. So I think that just speaks truth to the work that our organization does, and that we know, not only do we care about our clients that we serve, but we also care about our staff. And we hold both of those things up at the same level of value, when in a lot of spaces that's not necessarily true.
Shalimar, I'm moved. I'm so moved, because I really wish that more and more entities would understand that's a great model. It is a great model, because there's something to be said about being able, not just vouching for someone, but when people experience the root of someone's like essence, and they can say, like, without a shadow of a doubt, this person would make a great contribution to the organization. It's clear y'all are thriving because of that. I really wish more folks understood that, right?
Thank you.
But also too, 50 years, this is huge. This is huge of doing this service. It really is a testament to the need for the service. Mm-hmm. But now y'all get to celebrate all of this hard work that so many have been doing over the years, pouring into this effort to make sure Solid Ground stays around. Tell us about the excitement that you're experiencing as you approach this 50th gala celebration.
Yeah, it's definitely exciting. I felt like I kind of want to throw my own 50th birthday party like this. It's been amazing to really think about the history of the organization, from its roots as the Fremont Public Association. And when I was young, I used to go to the Fremont Fair, and then that was tied into what is now Solid Ground. And so it's just amazing to think about how this organization got its start with really a neighborhood of community members that said, we're seeing our community in need, we're seeing our community hurt, and we're not seeing enough resources for us specifically. So let's just create it, right? Really a by us, for us sort of a model. And then to see that continue to grow, which, like you said, it's both exciting. It's also kind of heartbreaking at the same time. When you're doing anti-poverty work, you actually want to see there be less of a need. And that is kind of the hard thing is as we continue to see, things happen in the economy, the increase in rental costs, everything, groceries, everything else, there continues to be more and more of an influx of calls. But, this is a time for us to reflect over this past 50 years and to be able to say, we wouldn't be who we are as an agency without folks like Frank Chop. We wouldn't be who we are as an agency without folks like Cheryl Cobbs Murphy, who really got us started in our anti-racism journey and has continued to push the organization forward through her volunteer leadership and just her network and her mentoring of me. Those folks are the ones who really kind of got us started. And then to be able to see like the staff that have, like I said, that came in because they had a passion. And then they go off and do other things, which is perfect. I always say, like, as much as I love a staff member that stays like 40 years in the organization, I also love the staff members that come in, they learn something, and then they go off and do something else. And what we end up seeing are things like Lehigh. We see new organizations. Family Works, which is shares a building with us in Wallingford, and the work that Marcia and her team are doing, it's just phenomenal. And so to be able to reflect on that, to be able to give thanks for that, to be able to remind folks that we live in abundance. So even though we are doing anti-poverty work, there is plenty of money, there's plenty of resources out there. We just got to get them in those resources to the people who need them the most. Like that's what this 50th anniversary is all about.
It sounds like it's going to be a good time.
It's going to be a party.
And I get to brag a little bit because somebody I'm close with sounds like they're going to be there giving some great words of wisdom. Tell us a bit about this keynote speaker.
Yes. Well, you got Convergence's own Omari in the house. Hey. We are so excited about having Omari with us. I've been actually following Omari's journey for a number of years now, and I've been kind of an admirer of his from a little bit of afar. So be able to have a chance in a space to be able to learn about his story a little bit more, his roots, in this community in Seattle, and then to even share, we had a call not too long ago where he really shared kind of his vision for the future. And I was like, let me put this in the strategic plan because it was like spot on. So be able to have him share his knowledge, for a room of 300 plus folks is just going to be outstanding. So I'm pumped to have him on stage. I'm pumped to have Mary on stage and other folks. It's going to be a great time.
Absolutely. Well, of course, I got to give you some time before I let you get out of here. It wouldn't be right if folks didn't know how they can get their tickets to Pour Solid Ground.
Yes,
let them know right there all the details about this amazing 50th anniversary gala.
Of course. So if you would like to come, which I hope you do, and I want you to come, please go ahead and go to solid-ground.org. And you can just right there on the main screen, you can get your tickets for the 50th anniversary gala. If that's too much to remember, go on Google or whatever your search engine of choice is and just type in Solid Ground Gala, and then you can claim your ticket there. The event is on May 8th, and I hope to see you in the audience.
Oh, amazing. Thanks so much for joining
Awesome.
me.
Thank you,
Shalimar.
Trae.
Always great to have you.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you for your work. Thank you for your service to our community. It's so needed, and I appreciate your care, your passion, your love for the people. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Y'all, always a pleasure to have Shalimar here, and I get to actually have someone who else is connected to Solid Ground. Up next, we got Mary Ruffin in the building, the board chair of Solid Ground. We're going to be hearing all about the work that the board does to help put such a big event together. The board be involved, y'all. You don't want to miss this. Stay tuned right after this short break. You're watching The Day with Trae.
Looking for laughs? Looking for love? Fast Talking Figaro has got you covered. Toe-tapping melodies, lively staging, and colorful costumes. Don't miss The Barber of Seville, May 4th through 19th at McCaw Hall. Tickets at seattleopera.org.
Africatown Plaza is our latest affordable housing development project. It's 126 units of affordable housing over community commercial space.
It's the first time in my career, and I've been doing this for 10 years, that I was able to design for people who look like me.
Africatown Plaza is a beacon of hope.
Africatown Plaza is a love letter to the community.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. Joining me right now is Mary Ruffin. Hi, Mary.
Hello.
And thank you for coming today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Well, this is exciting because we don't often get the board chair of an organization to come through, but we know that the board holds a lot of responsibility for any nonprofit organization. Tell us a bit about what got you connected to Solid Ground.
You know, I came to Solid Ground as a program participant over a decade ago. My family moved into a Solid Ground community. I finished undergrad in Solid Ground. I worked while we lived in a Solid Ground community, and I went to law school, and I had that community lift me up and support me through all of that. So when it came time to see if I could stay involved with Solid Ground any other way, I jumped at the opportunity.
Yeah. Well, that's really special because, again, I think for anyone who's in this level of service, there's a personal connection. So I love hearing that personal connection for you. And when you think about the work of the board, it's just sometimes people say it's got to be selfless because you're giving of your time and energy to make sure this organization is in tip-top shape. What are some of those top tasks that you find, fall into your lap as board chair?
Yeah, well, our responsibility as a board, like you mentioned, is to really make sure that we're steering Solid Ground towards a sustainable future. And so our focus is often high level on strategy, oversight, financial oversight, but also on accountability for the organization, which is why it's important to have folks with lived experience on the board because we have that personal tie and we have that personal care. And we also know that it's our responsibility, if we're in a position of privilege, to step up and do the work and make sure it's done right.
Yeah.
So that's some of what we do, strategic planning. I think often people come to the board and they think it's a little bit boring compared to other forms of advocacy because it's a little bit, Robert's rules and all that. But it is really fun, and it's really important to make sure that the organization is functioning at its best so that we can serve people the best.
Yeah. I mean, no organization is getting through without a solid board. And I've been on many boards, and, I think there's something to be said about board development. How do y'all go around to make sure that the folks who are representing on the board really are bringing their lived experience to benefit Solid Ground?
Yeah, we want people to feel comfortable, who have lived experience, who have other expertise that could be of value. And so we have an anti-racism initiative where everybody, is consistently learning about different institutions and systems of oppression and how we can navigate those. It's also about building community on the board because we want people to feel comfortable enough to do their best and to really show up. And so there's a lot of navigating different relationships, relationship building trust between us, and then also making sure that we're all involved in the communities that we serve. And so that's the primary focus.
Yeah. I think that's important too, because the board really has to reflect not only like the staff, but also the folks that you're serving. So you and your personal story is really an example of what it means to okay, I got all of this amazing services on the other side. Now I get to bring all of my expertise plus my lived experience to serve as board chair. That's sometimes unheard of. So I really appreciate that personal tie and connection. But this is exciting. This is exciting times. I mean, 50 years is a great showcasing of, a board continuously looking at that sustainable future as you shared. How does it resonate with you and the board members about this amazing gala celebrating 50 years?
We're excited because it's a look back to see how far we've come and how much progress has been made. It's a little bit of a reprieve, a moment for us to step back and really appreciate each other and all the work that has been done. But it's also an opportunity for us to look forward and share what the plans are for the future, which I think there's some really exciting things that really center community and really center folks with lived experience. And so we're ecstatic. Really.
Well, I'm ecstatic for y'all. And it sounds like you're going to be a part of the entire evening.
I'll say a couple words. I'll say a little thing.
Yeah. Tell us about, why it's important for, all the folks who will be in attendance to actually hear from you yourself.
I think it'll be a good opportunity for folks to sort of be able to put some lived experience with with what Solid Ground is all about in terms of programming. I think kind of it can be this obscure, like Solid Ground does all of these things, but there's a little bit of distance. And so hopefully I can help take away some of that distance. And I'm also just excited to talk about the community that I've been able to be a part, because the community that was provided to me when I lived in Solid Ground housing, which I still get support from those folks, it was a guiding light for me. And I've never been lifted up like that. So I'm excited for people to be able to hear about that, to be able to hear about that community and just how strong and resilient and selfless everybody is. And I hope that it encourages them to continue to stay involved in Solid Ground, because folks really deserve it and so much more.
Well, I mean, as Shalimar was talking about, anti-poverty work, that can take on a life form in so many different realms. But so much of it is about someone like yourself. Like, look, I got the help that I needed. I was able to go through law school. I'm able to now serve in this way with all that I bring. That's actually one of those like success stories of any organization, because the goal is to really make sure that people have what they need so they can thrive. And so when you think about the connection that you've made to the other board members and why that's kind of maybe an important note here in terms of your level of service, tell us kind of how that like makes you feel when you think back, and now you're even talking about how it's going to be moving forward. You're pouring into something that poured into you. And that is really what any organization wants to be able to say in terms of, hey, this is an example of the great work we're doing.
Yeah. I tell people all the time that I'm not unique. I don't consider myself, I'm not exceptionally smarter than anybody else. I really just had the opportunity. I got put in positions where I had the opportunity, and I was able to be privileged because of that. But there are actually thousands of people like me who are just as smart, who are just as capable, and they're just waiting on the opportunity. I don't like to, I love the success story, and I'm glad that I can be that. But I just want to emphasize for people that like, I'm not unique. Yeah. Actually, there's like all of this untapped brilliance and talent, and like just waiting on the opportunity. Yeah. And it's there. So
that's a perfect perspective, honestly, Mary. I'm glad that you are serving in the position as board chair. Shalimar gave us the details. Of course, folks can get their tickets on solid-ground.org. But I want you to be able to tell folks why they need to come and experience this amazing celebration, be a part of the celebration, and also a part of the future of Solid Ground. Look right there. Let them know why they need to be there.
Please come join us at the Solid Ground 50th anniversary gala. This is going to be a wonderful opportunity for you to become a part or continue to be a part of the Solid Ground community. It's just getting stronger and stronger, and we have great things coming. So please join us.
Oh, perfect. Mary, thank you so much for being here, and thanks for all the work you're doing.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Y'all, what an amazing time I've just had. I'm going to wrap up all of this amazingness right after this short break. Stay tuned. You're watching The Day with Trae.
What's up, everybody? Trae Holiday here with a special announcement. Something sexy for the city is coming to our town, Tacoma Dome, May 3rd. You want to get your tickets today because you want to see Ashanti, Monica, Maya, Kiki Wyatt, and Anne Marie. Y'all, I have the pleasure of emceeing this phenomenal concert. Join me and get your tickets today for an epic performance from these R&B divas.
Hello, welcome to Elite Insights with Carlos Imani. We're looking to offer an in-depth look at event production industry through the lens of client experiences and joint successes. The podcast will emphasize guest interviews, focusing on client, discussing their fields, and reflecting on their collaboration with Elite Collective. Again, you're with Elite Insights. Carlos Imani here. I'll see you guys in a few.
Looking for laughs? Looking for love? Fast-talking Figaro has got you covered. Toe-tapping melodies, lively staging, and colorful costumes. Don't miss The Barber of Seville, May 4th through 19th at McCall Hall. Tickets at seattleopera.org.
Welcome back, everyone, to The Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. What a terrific Tuesday. Huge shout out to my guests, Shalimar Gonzales and Mary Ruffin, both coming from solid ground, doing the anti-poverty work, literally with their boots on the ground, being there in such a wide variety of ways. Sometimes it's just mind-blowing to me that we have these kinds of amazing organizations right here in our backyard doing such phenomenal work that's impactful to people in such a positive way. I just want to thank everyone who is giving of their time, talent, treasure for public service. It is needed. And no matter what area you find yourself in, the fact that you are doing something that is benefiting others is really helping us have a better world every single day. And I just got to get really excited here because our CEO right here of Converge Media is going to be there, y'all. So you want to get your tickets, go to solid-ground.org. Omari does not always do keynotes, y'all. I mean, this is real. So this is a big deal for us at Converge too, because I'm getting geeked out because he has so much passion that he pours into the work here at Converge. He's going to be able to share a bit of his lived experience for all of those in attendance. So I'm going to tell you right now, I know it's going to be fire. You definitely want to get your tickets and celebrate the work of Solid Ground, but also hear from our leader right here at Converge, Omari Salisbury. Y'all, I'm so glad y'all joined me on this terrific Tuesday. You know, for me, I'm with you throughout the week. Thank you. It's still the beginning of the week, but we got more coming this week. You know, I'll be back with y'all tomorrow. And until then, at 11 a.m., y'all, peace.
Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.